Welcome to the Emotionally Healthy Leader podcast. My name is Rich Velotis. I'm the lead pastor at New Life Fellowship Church in Queens, New York City. And I'm with Pete Scazzaro again. Pete is the founder of New Life Fellowship and also the president of Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. And today we're going to talk about the Emotionally Healthy Spirituality course. It's an approach that we've had at New Life very recently of integrating the course into our church community in a more centralized kind of a way. But we're going to learn more about the course and what's coming up in the few weeks to come and months to come and how churches can implement this in their own church as well. And so, Pete, you've written the book Emotionally Healthy Spirituality in 2006, Emotionally Healthy Church in 2003. And this course has had many different iterations over the past few years, but now we've landed, it seems, pretty clearly on what the future holds for EHS, the course specifically. So tell me about the course. What are some of the new developments and why this course during this time?
Well, I think it started out by, the Emotionally Spirituality small group curriculum has been extremely popular all around the world the last 6-7 years. But we found a couple of years ago, as we were transitioning here at New Life Fellowship, as we were growing, that we've got a lot of EHS materials floating out there, skills, EH Woman, and marriage materials, that this course now, the Emotionally Spirituality course, is really the core course out of which everything flows. And so if you remember, and you can talk about this first perhaps, how we moved at New Life to doing it centrally here on Tuesday evenings, like 2 to 3 times a year, so that everybody went through this core material out of which we do our formation at New Life. So why don't you just talk about that first?
Yeah, we made a shift. Initially, the EHS course, the material, was in a small group context. And so people in Brooklyn, I would lead a group in Brooklyn, people in Queens, in Manhattan, different parts of the city, would gather in homes to talk the content, it's wonderful, and it's a wonderful way of getting the content into community. But to do the course really is a change in culture. And a change of culture needs common language, and what we felt like to really get the culture, the EHS culture, fully more embedded into our church, because what's happening is more people are coming to our church. Many people don't know what EHS is, even though it has originated from New Life Fellowship Church. Many people are going, what is that? So we created a centralized course where we get 40, 50, 60 people a few times a year to learn the 6 weeks, 8 weeks that we do, new language, new practices, new theology. And it's been wonderful because many people that are new to New Life and many people that have been here for many years but have never entered into really this content are journeying together now. So it's been really helpful.
And so it was not just New Life Fellowship that made a switch a few years ago. I saw another large church in British Columbia, Canada, was doing the same thing. If you walk in their foyer, you'd see, okay, they're doing like an alpha course, then they would do membership, and then they had, for all newcomers, they would do the EHS course. And it was centralized a few times a year, just like us. And that's when we said, okay, hey, wait a second here. Let's pilot this around North America. We did. Total success. Everyone loved it. And then we said, okay, great. We're going to move this to the EHS course. And so we redid the materials, updated them, and now we're releasing it just here now, this August, September 2014. But I would say the reason we did it was there's a few different reasons. One is we realized that the EHS material is profound and it's deep, and that it deserves a high-quality treatment. That was the first reason, and I think we've discovered this, it's gone out there, and that by centralizing it, now there's training for small group leaders at tables. There's a high-quality presentation from the front, whether it's through a video or it's through a person speaking and actually teaching it. There's an ability to really create an environment where there's follow-through for people. And we recognize that the material of EHS is addressing critical missing components in formation around the world. A deep nerve, whether it's daily office and Sabbath, whether it's go back to go forward, looking at your genogram, whether it's grief and loss, whether it's journeying through the wall and dark nights of the soul. It's a whole transformation of how we understand what it means to follow Jesus. It's a new paradigm. It's a new language, and that it deserves a treatment where everyone in the church kind of gets it. And so we're extremely excited that, wow, this thing is actually getting launched. And wonderfully so, we moved our materials from Willow Creek to Zondervan. And we were able to reshoot the videos, update the workbook. kind of put covers on things, so it's all called the EHS course, and now we've released it.
So tell us more about just the material. There's some new materials that are out here. We have the Emotionally Healthy Spirituality course, which really flows out of Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. Talk about the EHS Day by Day as well.
Yep.
That we've had. Just new material. We have the new DVDs here as well. And so just talk about that,
Yeah.
the process of that. And
So let me just say what's different. People keep asking me, what's different now, Pete, about it? The book is the same. Okay, the book, nothing's changed except for the cover. That's all done. We reshot the EHS course video, and which is wonderful because it's 6 years later from the original. It's sharper, it's cleaner, and actually it was professionally done in a 2-day period versus we did the first video in 4 hours for free at somebody's studio in Canada. So actually I feel like these videos are the quality is so good that if somebody wants an intro to EHS, just watch the 8 introductions. It's worth it. But what we're really encouraging some churches to do is go to our website and you can download the outline of what I do as well as the transcripts, because we want pastors and leaders in churches, as much as possible, you teach it. Instead of having to use my video, we would love to see you get equipped to teach it on a regular basis, just like you do here at New Life Fellowship. The workbook is a lot easier and cleaner to work with and much more user-friendly. There's actually, between the sessions, it ties in much more closely with the day-by-day office. And then the daily office book is now called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality Day by Day. Again, why? So it all fits together. We're being very clear with this EHS course that we really want people to be, what's critical to the course is you just don't do the workbook and the book and the DVD. You're actually doing offices twice a day, 5 days a week. Because the great problem in churches today is we're equipping people to attend church, we're equipping people to serve, but not to have a deep personal relationship with Jesus, not to walk with him, not to discern his will and his voice. And a critical component of EHS is that people are really nurturing this relationship with Christ. And so the introduction of offices for 8 weeks, twice a day, is a big wallop for folks. And so on our website now at EHS is all these materials that you can download, like a 3-minute video on introducing your group to the EHS day by day. And so the website's got all kinds of stuff, FAQs, to help support a church bringing it in. Probably most importantly, there's a booklet called How to Run the EHS Course for free that you can download off our website. And it kind of breaks down to 5 steps, the preparation, the planning. There's free flyers you can use for your church. So we've learned from Alpha. What Alpha is to evangelism, basically EHS is for deep, beneath the surface spirituality that really transforms people. I think we're finally really clear after all these years, like what is the contribution of EHS to the church today? And I would say it as simply as this. We are committed to mission. We are committed to bringing Jesus to the world. I think what we've learned at New Life over these years, Rich, is that the way we're going to get to the world is through people's lives being transformed after they come to Christ. That transformed people transform the world. We just can't be sending people out there. It doesn't last. It's unsustainable. But long-term, sustainable, vibrant mission is going to flow out of people filled with their cup with Jesus, their own lives being transformed. Then we go out and we change the world. And what EHS is approaching mission differently. And it's giving the church a tool to really see their people get transformed for Christ and getting them on a journey that's going to really be radically different.
So to that end, we have a training coming up. We have the Emotionally Healthy Coordinator training. Why don't you talk about that? I'm sure some folks that are watching this podcast might be interested in that, or in a future date that's coming. We have one this fall. Just talk about that as we close here.
So what's really interesting is that Nicky Gumbel, who is one of the founders of Alpha in Great Britain, and what's interesting is Alpha was an evangelism course they developed in their church many years ago. And it flowed out of the local church, the vibrancy of Holy Trinity Brompton. And we began to follow what they were doing, so we realized, wow, what Alpha is for evangelism, EHS really is being used by churches for spiritual formation, for deep discipleship. And we too, EHS has flowed out of our local church here at New Life. And we said, what a great model. And then something amazing happened. God touched Nicky Gumbel as he did the EHS personal assessment, read the book, and his whole life got transformed. We ended up Skyping, ended up talking about EHS in London at his big conference there, and I got all these tweets and emails from Great Britain. And what happened is we ended up connecting, and they have been helping us. And we've learned like so much from them about how to help churches implement a course. Alpha is the only ones we know in the world who've successfully implemented a course in local churches long-term for years.
Yeah.
So, Rich, when we've learned from them in like the last year and a half, would have taken us 10 to 15 years. They've been at it almost 30 years now. But one of the things we realized, and they're so right, I mean, is to run these little one-day courses to equip, or trainings to equip a coordinator or director for the church to bring it in.
Yeah.
So we're launching 3 in the fall. We're doing one here at New Life Fellowship September 17th. We're doing another one in Austin, Texas in October, and a third in Grand Rapids area in December. And what that day will be, very simply, is it'll be an experience of EHS.
Yeah.
We'll go through some of the studies. They'll experience the offices. They'll understand what's the DNA of EHS groups in circles that's different than traditional evangelical groups. What's the kind of culture that we're trying to create? And then we'll equip them to actually bring it to their church and layer it in to bring it. So it's a very practical day.
That's great.
We piloted it in Malaysia and Singapore this past summer, and it was a booming success. And I think it's been a good learning for Jerry and I, realizing people love the fact of, okay, this is it. Like, this is how I do it. And again, I thank Alpha for serving us, and they accelerated our learning process. I mean, years.
Yeah. So it's very exciting times for emotionally healthy spirituality here in the States and really around the world as well. And so for more information about the materials, the content, the new materials, the coordinator training day, the conference that's coming next year, you can go on emotionallyhealthy.org for that information. See you next time.